Welcome into a chilly Moore, Oklahoma, where tonight, history in the making. The Bixby Spartans take on the Lawton Wolverines in the first ever championship right here in the state of Oklahoma in Class 6A Division II. Hi, welcome everyone. I'm Jeremy Poplin, joined tonight by Steve Marshall. And Steve, we've got one team looking for their first ever state championship and another team looking to add their fifth. What a great game we have on tap here tonight.
Yeah, we got a great matchup here this evening between these two teams. And, you know, when the season started, and as you said, the inaugural season of 6A-II, you kind of had an idea of what teams were going to compete. I don't think there's any surprise that we've got number 1 and number 3, Bixby and Lawton, here tonight.
Let's take a look at how both of these teams got here to this point as we go through the bracket.
Of course, Bixby won their opening round as they defeated Stillwater and then took care of Sand Springs in the semifinals. And for Lawton's part, they dispatched of Bartlesville in the opening round and then had to come from behind to knock off Tulsa, Washington last week, 42-27.
There will be all types of talent all over this field here this evening. Division I talent, big talent, and we'll start first with the Bixby Spartans and Nick Roller. He is what makes that engine go.
He is something else. I mean, he's a big kid, he's strong, he's physical, he's going to take it to you, and he also is deceptively fast as well. And I think if Bixby's going to have a good chance to win tonight, obviously Nick Roller has to have a big night. And then when you talk about Lawton High, they've got talent at the running back position, at the wide receiver, at the tight end spots, and the guy that has to make it all go, to make it all click, is their quarterback, Jack Maservi, number 5. He's a good one too.
This is going to be one great matchup here this evening for the championship. First time ever here in the state of Oklahoma in 6A-II. It's Bixby and Lawton, 1 versus 3.
As you can see, Lawrence Montgomery, the Bixby head coach, in his 5th season guiding the Spartans, and what a tremendous job that he's done. Let's take a look at the keys to the game, Steve Marshall.
Talked to Coach Montgomery before the contest. He said they want to win first down and also eliminate turnovers. Always a key whenever you're talking about any football game, but especially playoff football, and minimal penalties. Didn't want to have any long plays called back because of a holding, any touchdowns or anything like that. So those were the keys, and there you see Coach Randy Breeze as he comes on for the Lawton High Wolverines in his 9th season as the head coach at Lawton High. When we talked to him about his keys to the contest, he was very specific on what he wanted to do, and he said that they need to tackle well. They didn't do it in the first half last week against Booker T. Washington. Did a much better job in that second half as they went on to win. Also protect the ball and then stop the run. Looks like number 1 and number 3 are kind of the same thing, so that tells you the emphasis that he wants to put on trying to stop Shane Roller.
I think we'll see both of these teams have the exact game plan. Both of these teams want to establish the run here this evening. Lawton will get the ball first here as we get set for kickoff. Both these teams, common foes. They had 4 of them. Bixby defeated Sapulpa, Bartlesville, Stillwater, and Tulsa, Washington. Stillwater was the only game that was played at Bixby. Lawton beat Sapulpa, Stillwater, Bartlesville, and at home against Tulsa, Washington, and UConn. It's been a long time since either one of these two teams lost. Bixby lost in their opening matchup, and Lawton lost in week number 2. We are set for the 6A-II state championship game with Bixby and Lawton. For the first time ever, we are going to witness history. As you can see, Lawton will receive the opening kick, and this one will be short at the 5-yard line. Dropped there, picked up, and will be returned up past the 20, close to the 25-yard line, then forced down there, gang tackled. And they're going to say forward progress up close to the 25-yard line, so we'll have an opportunity to see this Lawton offense first, Steve, and the starting lineups. We'll call Daryl Patterson's name quite a bit here this evening. Galen Sadler, we've got Hare, Bird, Good, and then this offensive line that we will talk about for most of the night, anchored by big number 77, Jalen Barnett. He has offers to go pretty much anywhere in the entire country.
Big offensive line, as you said before the contest, rival a lot of D1 offensive lines on the college level, and we'll see how Bixby's front line is able to handle that.
And they'll go quickly off the left-hand side for the first play of the game, and that's a tackle in the backfield. So the Bixby Spartans defense off to a good start here this evening on the first play. So good look there of Patterson, who's had a tremendous season. Over 1,900 yards, 7 yards per carry. There's the Servey, he throws. That one is complete up past the 25-yard line. Missed tackle, and then knocked out of bounds. That's big number 18, Tristan Gooden.
But Gooden last week was big, huge in that second half as he came up with a number of big catches.
Here's the defensive starting lineup for the Bixby Spartans, anchored by big number 91, Austin Grotz. Hannafin, Stinson, Kerr, Woodward, Sade, who's the leading tackler, Jake Spriggs, Blake Cooper, J.J. Cantrell, Zach Reynolds, and Justin Williams. So it's a first down here for the Wolverines. Servey now looks back to the sidelines. Has the play call. 3 wide receivers to the left. Under center he goes, turns and hands. It's Patterson there, and he is tripped up as he tries to get to the outside. And there to make the tackle for Bixby is number 40 for the Spartans. And that is Jared Kerr.
It's a Lawton counter play. We'll see them run that probably 20-25 times tonight. Just a quick step to the right or left side and then reverse it, bring it back the other way. Great job by Kerr that time to come up, keep the assignment, and make the nice open field tackle.
There's the senior completing 66% of his passes. Goes under center, now looks back to the sideline, changing the play here once again. 1 receiver to his right, 1 to his left, 1 man in the backfield. Back to pass. Trying to go down the far sidelines, on the near side. That one is underthrown, well covered there by the Bixby Spartan defense as Justin Williams was there step for step with the receiver.
Servey almost looked like he was determined to try and hook up with his receiver on the near side because, as you said, it was great coverage. He had him all the way. There was no way that Markeenan Hare was going to be able to break away. Great job by Bixby to hold, and now a 3rd and long coming up.
Hare has 15 receptions for 277 yards. It's a 3rd and 15 here for the Wolverines on their first possession. Servey back, they're going to set up the screen pass, and that one is not going to go very far at all. Dropped for another loss in the play, this time back behind the 30-yard line, and that extremely active Bixby defense comes up with a big stop here to get this game off on the right foot for them.
I think the one thing, when we called the game earlier this year, Jeremy, between Bixby and Booker T. Washington, the one thing that I really noticed is they're very quick to the football defensively, and they really play excellent assignment football on defense. And a couple of plays there, they had the one nice pass play that got them a first down, but otherwise Bixby's defense does a good job and now forces the punt.
Chris Jones will kick this one away, left-footed as it comes off his foot. Cantrell is back. He's going to wave this one off. It's a short kick that comes to a stop near the 42-yard line. So Bixby has tremendous field position. As we come back from this break, Bixby will have the ball for the very first time this evening. It's Bixby and Lawton, Division II championship here on the Cox Channel. Welcome back to Moore School Stadium. Jeremy Poplin, Steve Marshall with you as Bixby comes out for their first possession here in the first quarter. Scoreless with 9:30 remaining, and we have our first look, Steve Marshall, at Tanner Griffin and also big number 33, Nick Roller.
Yeah, Roller's been a great running back force for them as he gets the first down carry, but Griffin, the sophomore quarterback, I think has been pretty underlooked all season long.
Here's a prime example of what Nick Roller brings to the table. Just when you think that you've got him down, he keeps those legs moving and picks up a few extra yards, 8 yards on that carry. As you can see, 33, Nick Roller, Cale Mulkey, Kate Cabanis, Kyle Ryan, and Jared Kerr. And here once again is Roller. He breaks through and another big gain, this time close to the 35-yard line. They'll actually spot it at the 36. So a first down for the Spartans as Roller loses the left shoe and he has to come out for a play.
We hope it's just a lost shoe and it's not an ankle injury. That victory last week, he carried the ball 16 consecutive times as they just ran him and ran the opposition out of the stadium last week. And so he's somebody they're going to get back in as soon as possible.
Zach Reynolds in the backfield. There's a pass from Griffin to the outside. It is caught. That's Kyle Ryan, and he is forced out. So the first completed pass of the night from Griffin to Kyle Ryan. Ryan on the season at 60 receptions, coming in for over 1,000 yards. Averages 18 yards per catch. What a weapon that he has been. 10 touchdowns for the Spartans this season as well, as you see Coach Montgomery stalking the sidelines. Send a man in motion. Griffin. And they will give that to Reynolds. He is close to the 30-yard line, maybe just shy of that. You can see that big defensive line for the Lawton Wolverines.
So number 77, Jalen Barnett, he usually doesn't play a whole lot of defensive line as he's the outstanding offensive lineman, but he's in there tonight because they realize if they're going to be able to try and stop Roller, they're going to have some extra help up front.
Reynolds still remains in after we saw Roller head towards the bench after losing his shoe. Shotgun formation, Reynolds to the left. And they will give to Reynolds. Not much space there at all as he gets close to the 30-yard line. So Lawton with two good defensive plays here to set up a third down for the Spartans. Here's the starting lineup on the defensive side for Lawton. See Dwayne Doucette, Admiral Majors, Lee Canna, Levi Kane, the leading tackler on this team. Matt Leon, Thompson as well. Here we go on the fourth down play, and Griffin is hammered. He's hammered, the ball is free on the turf, still free, and the Wolverines are going to come up with it. That is a big defensive play for the Wolverines, and look who it is coming up with the football. It's Tristan Gooden.
Big hit. Blindsided is Griffin here as he steps up. See if we can find out who got the hit as well. Looks like it's Malik Hanna, number 1, as he comes on the blitz and he gets the forced fumble, and the Wolverines are there to pounce on it, and they'll take over at their own 36-yard line.
So the first turnover of tonight's game goes to Lawton's favor as Griffin did not see him coming. Takes the big hit, so back on offense for the second time. Here are the Wolverines, and they'll try to go down the middle of the field to have a man, and that one's almost picked off. Boy, J.J. Cantrell had that one right in his hands as they try to test the middle of that field and knocks that one away, and the Serby got away with one, Steve.
Boy, he really did, and again, it seemed as though he was locked on Sadler the entire way, and got some safety help on the play coming over the middle, almost like Serby didn't see him. And I'm sure that he would tell you himself that given the opportunity, he'd like to have that interception back.
There's Serby, this time they'll hand off just over the left-hand side, maybe 3 yards there to the 39-yard line. That's Patterson. 22 touchdowns on the year for Darrell Patterson. Also does a good job receiving. Got 20 catches for 369 yards. 3rd and 7 now for the Wolverines. They'll fake the handoff. Here comes pressure, and it's Austin Grotz. Big 91 from Bixby, who just picked up his first D1 offer earlier this week. Will force Lawton to punt this one away as McServy is gobbled up.
Boy, just a great job there. You talk about a bull rush as he comes off this left end and just beats Barnett and gets around him and buries McServy on the play. So Lawton unable to do anything with that first turnover opportunity, and now they'll have to punt from deep inside their own territory.
That's a battle that we will watch the entire evening. Jalen Barnett versus Austin Grotz. There's a kick from Jones, another short kick. It will take a Lawton bounce. Rolls to a stop, and they'll spot this one at the 28-yard line. With 6:13 remaining here in the first, we are still scoreless. A good shot of the crowd there. And when we come back, we'll have Bixby on offense. Scoreless here and more in the 6A Division II championship game here on the Cox Channel. Moore School Stadium. Bixby and Lawton, 6A Division II championship game. Bixby back on offense for the second possession. And one of the keys to the game, Steve Marshall, we talked about was turnovers, and they had one after the first.
Well, they got one. Lawton did in their favor, but credit to the Bixby defense as they were able to force a 3-and-out. You know, it's one of these games where I talked to people beforehand. I expected a good number of plays, long touchdown runs from both these squads, 40 yards or plus, but so far it's been the defense that came to play early.
Nick Roller with a gain on first down. Almost 5 yards on that play. Actually, he does pick up 5, 2nd down and 5. He is back in after losing his shoe on the first possession. Set out several plays. They'll fake it's Roller, and they'll go quickly to the outside. It's Cale Mulkey. Flag down on the play.
Yeah, obvious hold by the wide receiver who was supposed to get the block after that quick pass, and he pretty much drug down the cornerback on that play right in front of the line judge, so I don't think there's much question about that.
So as they have this conversation, the referee, Jeff Murray tonight. See the linesman there, Gary Lewis. As Jeff Murray gets set to give us the official signal.
Hold it.
And it is holding against Bixby. You know, it's pretty incredible when you look at this Bixby program, Steve. The 5th year for Lauren Montgomery, and just not only how the entire city has embraced the program, but the growth that we'll talk about coming up tonight as well. It's something that's truly special, one of the fastest growing cities here in the state. And they'll set up the screen, and it's Roller. He's got men out in front of him, and he pushes up past the 40-yard line, has a first down. We'll call that one at the 43-yard line.
Good job that time by Griffin. There you see the fake play action, then the pump fake. The blitz was on, so it was a great call and great execution there by Griffin to get the ball to Roller. Boy, when he looked up and saw nothing but fellow teammate white jerseys in front of him, he knew he had some room to run and gets the first down of the play.
It was Brandon Dyson leading the way. Here's Griffin, pump fakes. This time he'll keep it over the right-hand side. Nice gain there on first down. Close to the 50, they'll spot it at the 49-yard line. So yards per play so far for Bixby, almost right in line with what the season average is. Average over 7 yards per play the entire season.
Well, again, they talk about Lawton, but Bixby too. So many different weapons, from multiple receivers, the running back obviously, and you just got Mulkey back who had a broken collarbone early in the season, missed a good portion of the middle part of the year, just got him back a couple of weeks ago. So another additional weapon to that Bixby offense as they get another first down.
There's another weapon there, the tight end, Jared Kerr, as Griffin finds him. For a first down, and the ball is spotted at the 42-yard line. Here's Griffin quickly to the outside, has his man pushed out of bounds. Close to the 35-yard line. That's Cale Mulkey once again.
13 on the tackle and taking him out of bounds.
It's a cheer squad for Lawton. Exciting time as I know the city of Lawton has been waiting a long time to potentially add another trophy to that trophy case. They have an opportunity here tonight.
Haven't won since 1987 on a team that featured a couple NFL prospects. One guy's in the Hall of Fame, and Will Shields, Noel Brewer, James Trapp, all on that team, along with Kelly Stinnett, who was the quarterback and ended up having a career in Major League Baseball.
That one is stacked up near the line of scrimmage as Jalen Barnett, as you mentioned. You won't see him that much, or haven't so far throughout the season on defense, but hey, it's the championship game. They're going to let everything go here this evening as he hit Roller right at the line of scrimmage. Sets up a 3rd and 3 now from the 35-yard line. Griffin looks towards the sidelines. He has 3 receivers to his right, Roller in the backfield. Here's Roller, hit once behind the line of scrimmage, tries to jump forward. We'll see where the spot's going to be. It looks like it will be about a yard short of the first down.
You have to think they're in 4-down territory there, Jeremy. Line of scrimmage is going to be about the 33. They need to get to 32, so really only a yard to go. But there is a flag on the play. So let's first see what Jeff Murray has to say about the flag, as it looks as though it might be against Bixby as the Spartans.
Red ball. Personal foul. This way. 4th down.
So a personal foul against the Spartans. And that had to come in towards the end of the play. Here on the inside, as you can see Roller there trying to battle for the first down. And that's where it came in right there, the shove after the play was over. And that will force a punt now for the Bixby Spartans. Here's a snap that goes back. That's Griffin, who also acts as the punter. This one takes a bounce at the 20 and will roll to a stop inside the 15. And we'll call it the 13-yard line, and that's where Lawton will take over on their next possession. Still scoreless here. Jeremy Poplin and Steve Marshall with you. 6A-II division championship game here from Moore. We were talking earlier, as we have a good shot there of Lauren Montgomery. You know, Pat McGrew, who was the head coach before Lauren got there, when he got to Bixby, the town's population was just over 13,000. Montgomery comes in a decade later, and it's already more than 21,000. That's 77% growth for the city of Bixby since 2000. And they have embraced this football program, and Lauren has done a tremendous job. That ball is free. I don't believe that Bixby ever got that snap cleanly, and he had to retreat to pick that one up.
Well, you look back at that personal foul penalty, it was looking like it was going to be 4th and 1. You think they give the ball to the roller, they get a first down and continue that drive. So big penalty forces them to punt, and now let's see what Lawton can do after the first down loses a couple of yards.
It's a man in motion for Bixby. Turn and they will give. It's Patterson trying to get something going there on the ground, and they're going to say that he was down. And not much there at all. Got back right at the line of scrimmage.
Look at Patterson coming, and again, Bixby running so very well to the football. Looked like he was down there. Then the ball comes loose. Bixby got it. It looked like his knee was down before the ball actually came out.
Clearly down as the knee hit the turf. It's 3rd and 13, 3rd and long. And there's movement there. Trying to draw the Spartans off sides. And contact up front.
Encroachment, defense. Go down.
Lawton, as we've seen a couple times, Jeremy, they do that check with me where everybody's lined up and then they back out and then check with the coaches on the sideline, and that time it drew Bixby off sides.
So it gives them 5 yards. More manageable now at 3rd and 9, still 3rd and long. Bixby was under center. He's got 3 receivers to his left. 1 man in the backfield. They'll go quickly to the outside, and that ball is dropped. Dropped on 3rd down. I'm not so sure he would have picked up the first down anyway. There was not much space on the outside at all for Sadler. And that brings up a 4th and 9 and another punting situation for the Wolverines.
You would have thought coming into this game, given the advantage or the supposed advantage that Lawton has with that huge offensive line, that they would pretty much run right at Bixby. But Bixby plays such good team defense, and as we said several times already, swarming to that football. And so Lawton is forced to try to run it outside or throw the passes. And so far they've had just one big play on offense. Bixby doing a great job defensively.
Here's Cantrell back. That ball sails over his head for a brief moment. Then, at the very last second, decides to catch that ball. The Bixby sidelines wants a flag on that play as Cantrell was thrown to the turf, and there is not one. You can see some of the fans' reaction there. It's a little bit different. You know, sometimes even in the NFL, teams will bring in, as Jones is a left-footed punter, so it comes off of his foot a little bit differently. There's a different spin on it. Even teams in the NFL sometimes will bring in an extra left-footed kicker in their camp just to give guys the opportunity to get used to it. And they're going to see that in the regular season. I don't know if that played into anything with Cantrell there, but he did pick it up at the very last moment. Here's Griffin, fakes to roller to the outside. That one falls incomplete. See the defender there, that's Chris Bishop, who had good coverage on the outside.
We've seen Bixby throw that quick little hitch pass to the outside. It's picked up some yardage on the first couple of plays, and that time the cornerback kind of cheated up. That's a situation where if you cheat too much, you give the old pump fake and go. So we'll watch to see if that's something that Coach Montgomery and Tanner Griffin don't call on here some point in this ballgame.
Bring the tight end in motion, that's Kerr. Here's Roller off the right-hand side, and just not much there at all. He is stopped in the backfield, and that's a good tackle behind the line of scrimmage by Malik Hanna.
Now, if you're going to stop Roller, you need to get down, get low, much like Samaje Perine for OU. You don't want to try to grab Roller up high because he's just going to carry you for a ride.
1 receiver to the right, 3 to the left. Here's Griffin. And we have a flag. There'll be movement up front against the Spartans.
False start.
Move them back 5 more yards. 3rd and 15. That was also one of the keys. So penalties here early for Bixby. We've had the personal foul. Now 3rd and 15 off the false start and a turnover. Those keys to the game are looming large. here in the first quarter. Here's Griffin, back to pass, steps up, fires, has it caught. That one's over the middle. It's Kyle Ryan. He's on the Lawton side of the field, down inside the 40-yard line at the 37. What a tremendous throw from Tanner Griffin.
Boy, he reared back and really let that one go, got his whole body into it, and then Ryan just plucks it out of the air. That's a great pitch and catch right there for the Bixby duo.
And the Spartans will go with tempo, go on the ground to the hammer, Nick Roller. He has a nice gain on first down of 5 yards. Anytime you can chew up 5 yards on first down, give yourself an added advantage. How about that? Keeper from Griffin. He cuts back in. He's at the 10 to the 5. Does he get in? He dives for the end zone, and there's the signal. Touchdown. Tanner Griffin rips that one away from Roller. He goes off the right-hand side, then switches fields at an angle, dives for the pylon, and is in.
Well, you called it right, too. I mean, he really did take it away from Roller. That's the first time he's kept it all night long, so the defense was not looking for him to run it. And he does a great job and gets it right down to the pylon, into the end zone for the touchdown to put the Spartans on top.
And he showed some speed on the great read there from Tanner Griffin. Here's Taylor Ruth on for the extra point. And it is good. So the first score of the night goes to Bixby, as the coaching staff is absolutely fired up off the big touchdown run from Tanner Griffin. Let's watch this one more time. You can see Griffin just rip this one away, Steve, from Roller.
Really did. You can see the defensive end there crashing, number 88 for Lawton. Lost his assignment on that play, and Griffin takes it, and then he does the rest, showing some good speed there and diving for the pylon. And you can't be anything but impressed by this young sophomore. His mechanics, his poise back there, the way he puts something extra on the football when he had that big pass to Ryan over the middle. So right now it says 7-0 on the scoreboard, but Bixby is really owning it for the most part, offensively and defensively, as they go on top 7-0.
That's a 32-yard touchdown from Tanner Griffin. That drives 60 yards in 6 plays for the Spartans. As number 1 strikes first here at Moore. We'll see if this big offensive line from Lawton can get on track here on this possession. It's a short kick taken at the 2. That's Patterson. Still got. Excuse me, that's not Patterson. That was number 11. That was Hare. And he has a great return back out to the 35-yard line.
Take a look at the replay on the return once again, as Hare was able to get it out to the 35-yard line. A nice return. And Lawton, as they always do, has so many athletes, great team speed, and this time they were able to work it and get it out right to the 35-yard line, but they put it in play 1st and 10.
Here's a run from Patterson. Get some help from behind, push forward for a few more yards. He's got 8 yards on that carry. And that will probably do it for the first quarter after that 8-yard carry from Patterson. Bixby leads 7-0 here in Moore, as they are trying to win their first ever state championship game. 7-0 is our score. Jeremy Poplin and Steve Marshall will take a timeout and come back with the second quarter here on the Cox Channel. Welcome back to Moore. Jeremy Poplin, Steve Marshall. Bixby leading 7-0 over Lawton in the Class 6A Division II championship game. As we'll see the Wolverines back on offense. And I believe that ball was lost, and Bixby says they have it. It is. It's a fumble recovery for the Spartans, that's Cress Woodman who comes out of that pile with the football.
Like earlier, Jeremy, it looked like Bixby never really got it from the center. When it hit the ground, it looked like it was kicked forward. Let's watch again. Bixby can't get it. Then it squirts out. And there he is coming up with the football for the recovery. A turnover now for the Spartans, already leading 7-0. And now will take over inside Lawton territory.
Boy, Woodman was able to get on that one so quickly that Lawton did not really have a chance. That's the second time now, as you mentioned, Steve, that we've seen problems with the exchange from the center to the quarterback. And now the Spartans have an opportunity to add to their lead, and stoppage in play. We'll have another false start against the Bixby Spartans. That first quarter, the Wolverines had 28 total yards of offense, which is foreign to them so far this season, behind that big offensive line. There's Griffin, good shot of him. He makes a change. He's got two receivers on each side. He fakes it, goes to the outside, trying to get a block on the outside. Not much doing there. That one's caught by Mulkey. Cantrell was trying to lead the way or maintain his block on the outside edge and just could not do so.
Chris Jones, number 10. Michael Thompson, number 13 for the Lawton High defense. Right there on the spot. So after the penalty and then a loss on the play, now 2nd and 17.
It's Griffin back to pass. Good pickup there. As that pass over the middle, it's tipped and then picked off. As he comes to the outside, past the 50, he's got a lane down the sidelines. That's Chris Jones still going. He's got blockers out in front. There's a flag on the play back towards the 33-yard line. But this is the big play that defense needed to give them a spark. We'll see what the flag is. It's going to be after the interception.
Yeah, you got to think it's going to be a block infraction against Lawton on the return.
Block in the back. Return team, 10 yards. First down.
See the referee, Jeff Murray. And they do have the block in the back. But the interception still stands, and Chris Jones showed some nifty footwork on that play. He turned it all the way inside the 20-yard line. It's going to come back, though, and they'll spot this one back at the 43. You see here is Griffin. This one just gets tipped as he tries to go over the middle. Actually, it hit his receiver in the hands.
Yeah, may have put a little too much on that throw right there. As Cabin is unable to hang on, ball pops up in the air. Jones is the man, right spot, right time. Comes up with the interception. Now the Wolverines take over.
Cabanis has been sure-handed for most of the season. Here's Patterson off the left-hand side. He picks up 2 yards on that play. So 2 turnovers now for the Spartans. Early in this game, still in the second quarter. We'll fake, and here's give to Sadler. There is not much there at all. And one thing from our game that we did earlier this season, Steve, it takes a lot for you to get to the outside edge on this Spartan defense. They are fast.
They really are, and they fly to the football. And as we mentioned earlier and a couple times since, their assignment football is so good. They don't over pursue and then get themselves out of position, as you saw in that play in particular.
3rd down and 10 from the 43-yard line. Here's Bixby. Steps up, fires over the middle. That one is knocked away. Not quite sure if the Bixby player got a hand on it or not there at the very end, but it was a great defensive play. Zach Reynolds was there. They were trying to find Sadler over the middle, and it falls incomplete, so another punt coming up for the Wolverines.
Bixby's not been able to find his groove so far this evening. Came into this contest completing 66% of his passes. And other than a little dump pass to the tight end, has not really been able to do much in the passing game.
Here's Chris Jones. Cantrell back deep to receive, standing at his own 10. This one off the side of the foot of Jones. It will take a nice Lawton roll at the very end, and they will spot this one out close to the 13-yard line, according to the linesman. 2 turnovers for the Bixby Spartans, but they still lead 7-0 here against Lawton. We'll be back after this on the Cox Channel. .10:24 remaining here before halftime. Bixby leading Lawton 7-0 here at Moore. Jeremy Poplin and Steve Marshall with you as the Spartans back on offense. 3 receivers to the left side. Here's Griffin. Has his man, it's caught at the 25-yard line. Not much yards after the catch on there, but it is good for a first down, and it's complete to Cabanis, who had that last one bounce off of his hands, which led to the interception. He comes back for the make good. Cabanis on the season, 36 receptions for close to 500 yards and 7 touchdowns. Up the middle goes the handoff. Look at Roller continuing to battle through just when you feel like you've got him down. He will bust through an arm tackle and picks up probably 4 more yards from where we thought he was going to go down as we see this replay, Steve.
Got to see him a lot. The coaching staff at Bixby sending me their plays throughout the year to go over for our TV show, and we saw this so many times where he just makes initial contact, and again, if you don't take him down low, he is just going to punish you and take you downfield even further.
Here's Griffin, has a man, just out of the reach of Cale Mulkey. And he had plenty of space in front of him. That would have been good for 6 more, but just overthrown by a tad from Tanner Griffin.
Jalen Barnett checking back in on that defensive front. Big number 77, primarily the offensive lineman, and checking out number 57 is Lucas Recop. So alternating on that defensive front, trying to keep some fresh bodies in there, chasing this Bixby offense.
3rd and 1, they'll give it to Roller. He's got it. Up to the 42-yard line goes Nick Roller. 1,700 yards in the season for him coming in. Watch this contact at the end. Lets the defender knows that he's there. That's Chris Jones, who has an interception here this evening.
Some old school there, Jeremy.
They'll fake this one to Roller and incomplete to the outside. They try to hit Kerr. Kerr having a conversation there with his coach on the sidelines. Brings up a 2nd and 10 from the 42-yard line. Spartans come in averaging 40 points per game. There's an offsides.
Defense. Still 2nd down.
Still 2nd down and 5 now. They will spot this at the 47-yard line. Tanner Griffin just missed on that pass a few plays ago. This team has made a living off of explosive plays as well this season. Here's Roller, not much there. Good job up front. Here's number 33, that's Levi Kane. And also number 50, Admiral Majors.
It's got to be one of your candidates for your all-name team, I would think there. Admiral Majors, senior offensive defensive lineman.
Levi Kane's pretty strong as well. He's the leading tackler with 157 tackles. Here's Roller, makes one man miss, bounces off a would-be tackle. He's up past the 50-yard line, has a first down inside the 45-yard line.
But we knew coming into the ball game that Roller was going to be key, and he's not one of those guys that, you can load the box necessarily and stop him. He's going to get his yards either way. And, with this offensive depth that this Bixby team has, you pound Roller, and then you flip up and throw a pass. They try to do here, and they do complete. But against so many different weapons, and the fact that the quarterback, Griffin, just a sophomore, really leads this team, I'm very impressed with what he's able to do.
Cale Mulkey with the 8-yard reception there, working against Michael Thompson. 2nd down and 2 from the 37-yard line. Lawton fans trying to get their defense involved. It's a pass to the opposite side of the field, and he is ripped down there. Good tackle on the play from number 1, Malik Hanna, as he tackles Kyle Ryan for a loss on the play back to the 40-yard line.
So roller out to the left and then bring the pass back to the right. And that's a case there where if Hanna does not make that tackle, well, then it's probably at least a 10-yard gain. As it is, a loss on the play and a good job defensively for the Wolverines.
That's a great job defensively because he was fighting off the would-be block from J.J. Cantrell. Here's Griffin, and this pass will sail over the head on the 3rd down. Incomplete, and it brings up a 4th down. 4th down and 5 from the 40. And we'll see what the decision is here for the Spartans.
Saw Barnett come out earlier, Jeremy, kind of holding and working his right shoulder. He's on the sidelines right now. And obviously he's somebody that they don't want to lose offensively or defensively as well. So we'll keep an eye and see if number 77 comes back in for Lawton.
So the Spartans will punt this one away. Snap is almost over the head of Griffin. Has to go up and bring that one down. Bounces inside the 20-yard line, almost to a complete stop right there at the 15-yard line. So when we come back from this break, the Wolverines will have the football from their own 15, trailing by 7 with 7:27 remaining here on the Cox channel. Bixby Spartans looking for their first ever state championship. Lead here 7-0 over Lawton, as Lawton goes on offense from their own 15-yard line. And here's a big play on 1st down from Patterson as he is forced out of bounds. A gain of 7 on the play up past the 20. They will spot this at the 22-yard line.
Mentioned that Barnett had come out of the Lawton lineup earlier when playing defense with a little shoulder tweak, but he's back in there on the offensive line for the Wolverines.
This offensive line averages 290 pounds per player. And they've had their hands full so far with the Spartan defense, as no gain there on the play, and it brings up a 3rd down and 2 for Lawton with 7 minutes remaining here before halftime. And that running game has been their bread and butter so far this season. As I mentioned, 290 pounds per man. And they have dominated a number of teams up front this season, struggling here early.
And they average 286 yards a game on the ground and 195 through the air, so 481 offensively, but not doing much here so far against this stingy Bixby defense.
Here's Meservey. That pass is caught on the outside from Sadler. And depending on where the spot is, and they're going to give it to him, yeah.
Thought it was a pretty kind spot as you see Meservey get it out there on the edge to Kalen Sadler. It looked like he came down shy of the 30-yard line, but gets a pretty favorable spot.
That's a great tackle from Blake Cooper on the outside, who had to fight off his man. He was able to bring down Sadler from the ankles. Here's Patterson, finally a little room there. Breaks free from one tackle, has a 1st down, up past the 35-yard line. An 11-yard run. The longest run of the evening for Darrell Patterson.
You know, things change from week to week as we watch this replay, but in that game last week against Booker T. Washington, Lawton was kind of held in check, only had 14 points in that 1st quarter, but eventually they wore them down. There you see Patterson getting, as Jeremy said, the longest run of the night. We'll see how that goes the rest of the way.
Meservey trying to go deep down the middle of the field, has a man, and it's caught! It's caught there for a touchdown. That's Hare. And Lawton with the big-time answer. That's a 63-yard reception from Martinan Hare.
Boy, the defense was right there, too. It was almost like he was throwing it up for a jump ball. Meservey launches it. You see the coverage. He's there, but then looks like he cheated back as though he thought the throw was going to be a little short of its target. Hare does a good job, goes up, gets it, and he takes it into the end zone, and we're an extra point away from tying this ball game up.
Here's the extra point on its way from Caitlin Cox. And she knocks it through, and we are tied at 7. There's Caitlin Cox. And this is a little bit intriguing because both of these teams actually have a female kicker.
And we saw Caitlin Cox earlier. There she is once again. She kicked a 42-yard field goal earlier this season. That is the third longest field goal ever made by a female place kicker in the country in high school history. And I was watching her in pregame warm-ups, and she hit the crossbar from 50 yards out and was routinely putting it through the uprights from 40 plus. So she's not just some sideshow by any means. She's a very important contributor to this ball club. As once again we take a look at Caitlin Cox, number 22, good form and just punches it up and through. No big deal to her. And we are all tied at 7 apiece.
That was a 7-play, 85-yard drive, of course, capped off from the play from McServey. 64-yard touchdown pass to Hare, and we are tied up at 7.
What a great inaugural year for the 6A-II. It's infused so much energy into so many of these communities. Both these teams, of course, very good football teams in their own right when it was 6A, just 6A with the largest 32 schools. But now that it's been divided into the top 16 and the bottom 16, you've got these two teams playing for a state championship, while the other teams have to battle the Jenks and Unions of the world to see if they can make it to the gold ball game.
Here's a short kick. And on the return is Justin Williams, still on his feet, rumbling up past the 50-yard line, and what a return there from Justin Williams. The senior, 5'11", 175, has the Spartans in business at the 49-yard line of the Wolverines.
Good answer return right there for Bixby. Set themselves up inside Lawton territory. You take away the one big play, and I know you can't, that Lawton just had, but seemingly Bixby has really dominated pretty much both sides of the football. Now there's been a turnover or two, there's been a penalty that stopped the drive, so let's see what Bixby can put together here in what could be their final drive of the half.
As we mentioned, looking for their first ever state championship. They've been here several times. This is their 7th appearance in a state championship game. As we see Roller, he gets to the edge, makes one man miss, stumbles down, puts his hand down on the turf inside the 35-yard line to the 34, and that's a first down for the Spartans.
Is there anything scarier if you're a safety or a defensive back to see Roller just come through the line of scrimmage untouched as he did there? Great job on the right side of that offensive line. Roller gets ahead of steam, you're really going to be in extra trouble because he is a handful to bring down.
Here's Roller behind Griffin. There's two receivers to his left. Does Tanner Griffin. Has the shotgun snap. Here's Roller off the left-hand side, makes one man miss, dragging one defender inside the 25-yard line down to the 23, and that will be enough for another first down for the Spartans. And that right there, Steve, shows you not only the power of Roller, but he's also very elusive as well.
He has those little, jump steps, if you will, to steal a phrase from basketball jargon. But he really does a great job in just moving and finding his holes, too. It's not like he's just going to slam straight ahead. He's looking at trying to find the hole that's available to him.
From the 23-yard line, swallowed up there, back at the line of scrimmage. In for the play for the Wolverines was Levi Kane, their leading tackler.
Well, I expected a lot more scoring in this game, Jeremy. To see it right now, 7-7 with just about 4.5 minutes left to go before halftime, and a bit of a surprise to me.
Especially both of these teams averaging close to 40 points per game. Here's Griffin off the fake. He'll go. Has a man going to the end zone. Coverage is there. Does he have it? Did he come down with it? Waiting for the signal, and there it is. Touchdown. Kale Mulkey on the 23-yard touchdown pass from Tanner Griffin. And the Spartans strike.
Great job by Griffin off the play action. Looking left side, the pump fake, and then goes to the corner. And again, looks like the coverage is there, but Mulkey goes up, makes the catch. And, the advent of all these 7-on-7 camps these last, 10 years or so, you see so much more talent in the wide receiver position. Obviously, the quarterbacks have gotten better, but where it used to be a team was fortunate to have 1 or 2 good receivers, we see in the case of this Bixby team where they got 4 or 5 guys that can really go up and catch the football.
Here's the extra point attempt coming up from Taylor Ruth. knocks that one through. And the Spartans lead 14-7. 4:29 remaining here before halftime. Tremendous on the play action. And nice pump fake from Tanner Griffin as he finds Mulkey and the Spartan lead.
You know, save for the one time where Malik Hanna came in on the blitz and forced the fumble, Tanner Griffin has had a good bit of time to sit back there and look for his receivers. We see this two-play scoring drive with the handoff to Roller, then the fake to Roller, the pump fake, and then going up in the corner to Mulkey. Throws it on that back shoulder too, Jeremy, where the defensive back really had no choice or no chance to get over there and make the play.
So we'll see if Lawton can respond. And the scoring pace might pick up. Hare and Sadler back deep to receive this kick from Ruth. It's a short kick, and this one will hit out of bounds. And Lawton will have good starting field position here with the kick going out of bounds.
Away from the play, on the near side of the field, a collision, and Malik Hanna is down, number 1 for the Lawton High Wolverines, and he is writhing and rolling around. There is a flag on the play. And I just caught the tail end of it. I saw Hanna go down and then again rolling around, and that would be a big loss for the Lawton Wolverines.
And he is still down. As you can see, still in pain. Looks like they're working on, well, the one area that you don't really want to see would look like a knee, and it did. It happened on the opposite side of the field, completely away from the play.
Yeah, almost on a dead ball situation since the kick went out of bounds. And I don't know if the flag, I'm guessing that flag was a result of that, but looks like he's up and going to stretch it out. But he was writhing for a while, gets back up and see if if he'll be able to come right back or not. But seems as though he's moving around pretty good right now.
Yeah, looks like he's going to be okay. He takes his helmet off over here on the sidelines as he walks away. A lot of fans making the trip up from Lawton here this evening. And what a wait they've had, 27 years to have another chance at a championship. They've not been here since '87. They won in '62, '63, '70, and as I just mentioned, 1987. Trying to add number 5. Here's Patterson. He's knocked out of bounds, and another flag comes in late. He just barely got back to the line of scrimmage. As you can see, Spartans trying to make a case.
Dead ball. Personal foul. Let's wait, 15.
That's one of those, and you know, it may seem different on the replay, but it looked like the tackler made contact still on the playing field, and just his momentum carried him off, you know, a good 5-6 yards off of the playing field, out of bounds. One of those that you really can't fault the defender. Let's see if I change my mind after I see this, but here the contact is made, and he just continues to ride him out of bounds. And sometimes it's awfully hard to know exactly where you are on that field when you're trying to size up the guy and make a hit on the play.
So all the way to the 50-yard line. They spot this one for the Wolverines. 2 receivers to the right, 1 to the left. Servey, here's the wheel route, has Patterson on the sidelines, cuts back to the inside the 25-yard line, and they will say that he's down at the 22. So a big gain to the 22-yard line for Patterson.
Well, what you don't see is number 11, Markeenan Hare, who caught that touchdown a while ago. He's running downfield a little bit deeper than this wheel route that you called from Patterson. So well-designed play, and Servey laid it right in there for the first down.
And he wasn't the design receiver. Here's Patterson once again, cuts back to the inside at the 10-5, and he's going to walk into the end zone for a touchdown. 22-yard touchdown run from Darrell Patterson. And we are an extra point away from being tied once again.
Here come the big plays. Just when we thought it was a slow-moving offensive game at 7-7, both teams have scored here in just the last couple of minutes, and the big plays that we expected to see from these two ball clubs now coming to fruition. And again, just an extra point away from a time ball game.
Strike up the band, and here comes the extra point from Caitlin Cox. Snap down, ball on its way, and it is good. And just like that, taking advantage of the opportunities, penalties and turnovers, one of the keys that we brought up in the opening portion of this game, has really haunted Bixby so far in this one as we are tied at 14.
Yeah, I guess what? They got 30 yards of penalties on that drive from the time from the opening kickoff to the tackle out of bounds. That really aided in their cause, and then the nice wheel route that they threw to Patterson, and that time right there was probably the best hole that we've seen that offensive line open up, as Patterson's able to take it to the distance and get into the end zone for the tying touchdown.
Scoring drive there, 4 plays, 85 yards, 50 seconds. Patterson with a 22-yard touchdown run, and that drive was pretty much all Patterson. From the wheel to the touchdown.
Kind of like the boxing match where everybody's kind of feeling each other out in that first quarter and a half, and since then, we've had pretty much an eruption. Here's the scoring drive right here. A little wheel route, look downfield, and then Patterson with a nice move, stops on a dime right there on the sideline, and then the running play. Watch, there's Barnett, number 77, watch the downfield blocking. Good job by Hare, gets a piece of the safety there, and into the end zone goes Patterson to tie it up at 14.
You name it, Barnett has an offer. You just name any school. He's got scholarship offers from Alabama, Auburn, Tennessee, Oregon, Oklahoma State. He has 3 of his favorites listed. That's Oklahoma, Oklahoma State, and Arkansas. And we got a good look right there at Barnett, as this is a short kick that is caught near the 33-yard line from number 9. That's Jacob Spriggs, 5'11" junior.
I went down to do a piece on the Lawton football team last year, and Coach Breeze was telling me the story about Jalen Barnett. Said his mama came to him when he was in 9th grade, didn't know if he had any of the high school players that had an old pair of spikes that she could use for her son Jalen Barnett, who was still growing. And she said, Coach said, well, what size does he wear? And this is when he was a freshman. She said, size 17. So that was 4 years ago. So you can only imagine what he's tipping out at right now.
Here's Griffin. What a great catch that is from Cabanis, who has to go up, retrieve that one, comes down with it, takes the hit, and hangs on for a first down at the 46-yard line.
Great job by Cabanis there to come away with the reception. Had to know that he was going to get hit. Kind of twisted his body away at the last second to avoid really getting hit hard. And a first down for the Spartans.
Second catch from Cabanis here this evening. Here's Roller. And Roller is hit by big number 50. That's Admiral Majors. And Roller goes down immediately.
Still 3.5 minutes left to go in this first half. Anything could happen, but the way things are going right now, we're sizing ourselves up for a pretty good second half of football.
Second down and 10 from the 46-yard line. Here's Griffin. Finds his man. It is caught. That's Ryan. Gain on the play of, I'm going to say 9. So a 3rd and 1 coming up from the 45-yard line.
Ryan and Cabanis, Cantrell and Mulkey. I mean, 4 guys that can all really grab the football, make the reception, and then you've got the big power back and quarterback that does it all. Unsung heroes, of course, are the guys up front to provide Roller just that little push. All he needs is just a little seam, little crease to get in there, and he's got enough here for the first down.
Heavy package comes in, and as you mentioned, enough for the first down. Brandon Dyson was there giving the signal.
42-yard line.
Guys up front for the Spartans. Got Pate at center, Brown at the left guard, Dyson at the left tackle, Womack right guard, and Johnston at the right tackle. As we approach 2.5 remaining. First down from the 42-yard line. Tanner Griffin out of the gun, has 3 receivers to his left, 1 to his right. Roller in the backfield. Roller to his left. Quickly they'll go. That one is through the hands of Cantrell. Just slipped free. Very catchable ball. Just could not come down with it. And second down now. So we see the replay. Timing of Griffin to release as quickly as possible from the 42. Here's Kerr in motion. Up the middle with Roller. Push back. Short gain on the play of 3 yards to the 39-yard line. So a third down for the Spartans with 2 minutes remaining here before halftime. A 3rd and 7. Can Lawton come up with a big defensive stop here to not allow any more points? Tried to show some pressure up the middle. Now they'll back off. That was Leon. To the outside, here's Roller, and he's not going to get there. Good job of pursuit on the outside from Patterson. Also, Matt Leon was there. And a loss on the play. As Griffin just dumps it off. And brought down from behind, and Patterson finishes him off. And we'll see if the Spartans decide to take up as much of this time as they can. Still got 19 seconds left on the play clock. They elect not to. They kick this one away. And backing away from it was Chris Jones. And they will down this one inside the 10, officially at the 7-yard line with 57 seconds remaining. So will the Wolverines go conservative here? The offense has been back on track for the last several minutes, last several drives. They might see if they can take a shot or two here. They've still got all 3 timeouts left. Maybe they can get a play here down the field. And they'll keep it on the ground to Patterson. Patterson stumbles at the 5 and slips down. Clock will continue to move. Neither team here electing to burn a timeout. Looks like Lawton will just be content to head into the halftime locker room tied up at 14. Bixby had all 3 of their timeouts remaining as well.
Yeah, I just have to wonder if they're really going to try to get more than just the one play off here or be content, especially how deep they are in the field. And you have to think right here, with just 14 seconds left, they're going to let it roll out.
Here's Patterson. He is gobbled up inside the 5-yard line, and that will do it for the first half. And Steve Marshall is down on the sidelines. We will catch an interview with the coach coming up here in just 1 minute. We're going to catch Randy Breeze as he heads to the locker room tied up at 14. What a tremendous first half. And we'll throw it down on the sidelines with Steve Marshall and head coach Randy Breeze.
All right, all tied up 14 apiece, Coach. Last week you told your team if you got some holes on defense, your offense would take care of things. What do you tell your team at halftime tonight?
Exactly the same thing. We're a better offensive team than we showed. A couple of fumbles. We don't fumble the football. We get that corrected. We're a hard offense to stop. Defense is playing well. Every stop the rest of this ball game may be a 7-point stop.
You expect to get the big plays going? It seemed like the running game got going a little bit there towards the end of the half.
Yes, it does. We got a lot of home runs. If we can, the safeties are coming up awful hard to stop the run. That's a home run for us. We think we're going to be able to throw some play action, throw it deep second half.
All right, good luck in the second half, Coach. Appreciate it. Randy Breeze, head coach for the Lawton Wolverines. We're all tied up 14 apiece here at halftime.
All right, we'll throw it to break. Coming up next is the Farmers Insurance Halftime Show. We are live and more this evening, tied up at 14 between Bixby and Lawton in the 6A Division II State Championship game here on the Cox Channel.
Welcome back to Moore School Stadium, joined now by Bixby head coach Lauren Montgomery. 14-14 here at half. What'd you tell your team at the break, Coach?
Well, we got to eliminate some silly mistakes we've made. We've had a couple personal fouls, and and you know, stop the big play. We know they're going to have a few big plays because they're a good football team, but mainly eliminate the silly mistakes. When we get the ball in the red zone, we got to go ahead and get points on the board.
All right, good luck in the second half. Appreciate it.
Appreciate it.
Lauren Montgomery
To come underway here in just a few minutes. As you can see, Lawton players warming up down there on the sidelines. We talked earlier in this broadcast about how both of these cities have embraced this moment. Of course, they had the week off, so you have to factor that into, and we all know coaches are creatures of habit, but both of them seemed very positive about having the week off and did not allow that time off to affect them by any means. But the Bixby program has come such a long way. When Lauren Montgomery first signed up to be the head football coach, he had 36 players in that first season, as you have a good look at their players now. He had 38 on the field for Bixby's first-round playoff loss to Broken Arrow. That was back in 2011 in his first year. To show you how far that they've come, the roster now stands at 82. The population has grown quite a bit, and Bixby finds themselves in a spot to win their first ever state championship game. We'll talk about Lawton here in just one moment, about how the town has embraced this moment with both of the opportunities for the schools there in that city. Stats on the evening: 140 yards rushing on the ground, most of that from Nick Roller, 148 through the air for Bixby, 13 first downs, 2 turnovers, as you heard Coach Montgomery talk about, in the penalties. 54 yards rushing on the ground, 105 yards passing for the Wolverines, 6 first downs, and the 1 turnover and only 2 penalties for 15 yards. So the Spartans are dominating as far as the statistics are concerned, but we're tied up here at halftime. This city in Lawton has embraced this team. As we mentioned, they've been waiting a long time to come back and add another trophy to the trophy case, going for their 5th one. And with the success that not only Lawton is having, but Lawton MacArthur, it was really hard not to see everyone be extremely excited in that city. They had about 1,000 people make the trip up last week. The stands are packed to the gills here this evening as well, and just tremendous support from that city. And that's always been a tremendous place to go play at Lawton as well. And back in 2006, I can remember making a trip down to Lawton when the Jinx Trojans played against the Wolverines in that matchup. Lauren Montgomery was actually the offensive coordinator for the Bixby Trojan, or excuse me, for the Jinx Trojans at that time, but always have fond memories of Lawton going down there to play. But what an incredible season that this has been for them to finish off at 11-1. Both of these teams, they actually played 4 common foes throughout the season: Bartlesville, Stillwater, Tulsa, Washington. Lawton also knocked off Sapulpa, Stillwater, Bartlesville, and then beat Tulsa, Washington last week at UConn 42-27 in a game in which they were down at halftime and had to make a big push to come back. And we are almost set for the kickoff, as you can see the cheerleaders on the sideline getting set. There's young Caitlin Cox, the junior, set to put this one in the air. And we are underway for the second half here in Moore. It's a short kick that will be caught at the 20-yard line. And again, it goes to number 4. That's Justin Williams, still on his feet. Finds a way through. He's inside the 35-yard line. And what a start to the second half, Steve Marshall. Justin Williams with his second big return of this contest.
Well, again, you saw the kicker, Caitlin Cox, and that time didn't get enough under the ball to put it up in the air to allow the special teams defenders to get downfield. And boy, you could really see this opening up, especially from up here at our vantage point. There you see a bunch of guys trying to arm tackle. So a lot of times the winner of a football game in a close game like this is the team that comes out of that halftime locker room more prepared to play than another. And right now, just one play in, Bixby certainly looks like they're ready, and Lawton, with their effort there on some of the tackles, does not appear to be ready. But again, we're just one play into the second half. We got a long way to go in this one. Should be a great second half.
So the champion in District 6A-II, back on defense, and here comes Bixby. And quickly they go to the outside. That's Cantrell, who has the reception. That's a gain of close to 4 yards on the play, 3 yards, just shy of the 30-yard line. We'll call it the 31.
Well, all the people that I ran into going down to the field and coming back up, talking about what a great first half of football that was. And I think Coach Whaley maybe hit it on the head. He expects this to remain a close game throughout. And in the end, it's probably going to be whoever gets that big turnover or whoever doesn't turn the football over here in the second half.
Here's Cantrell, comes across the formation, sweep play, goes to him, not much there on the play. He might pick up another 2 yards, but a good job defensively from the Wolverines as number 7, Chris Bishop, comes up to make the play.
A little surprised that you don't give the ball to Roller one of the first 2 plays of the second half, because now you're in a situation where you're 3rd and 8. It's asking a lot to pick up 8 yards from your talented running back, and if anybody can do it, it is him. You would expect that you would have Roller get plenty of carries, plenty of opportunities here in this second half.
From the 31-yard line, Roller in the backfield, 3 receivers to the right, 1 to the left, and he'll go to the single receiver to the far side of the field to the 20-yard line. It's caught. That is Mulkey. He has enough for the first down, and the drive continues for the Spartans.
It's great timing between the quarterback and Mulkey coming back on that pass, making the reception, and then spinning and getting enough for the first down. He wanted a face mask on the end of that, but got the first down. That's the main thing.
So we'll go with the same formation once again. 3 receivers to the right. This time he looks to the right, trying to go to the corner of the end zone. This one's underthrown a bit, and it's picked off. Picked off in the end zone, and that's Patterson with a huge defensive play with 10-12 remaining here in the third quarter to shut down the Spartan drive.
A little too much air underneath that pass right there as he's trying to go to the corner route on Cabinet, to Cabinet, and a great job by Patterson. He's a great athlete. We've seen a lot of these guys, both teams going both sides of the football. Patterson has already shown what he can do offensively with his touchdown run, and now defensively coming up with the big turnover.
So the 3rd turnover of the night for the Spartans. Daryl Patterson, the senior, 6'1", 157 pounds. To turn away the Spartans here on their first possession in the third quarter.
Servey just 5 of 9 for 105 in that first half, Jeremy, so he really didn't get his rhythm, but did have the big touchdown pass.
Here's Patterson. Not much there, maybe 2. Off the right-hand side.
12 carries, 48 yards. Running backs are getting their yards, but not really breaking open for that big run here just yet.
There's a play fake rolling to the right. Had his man that was there, just out of his reach, was Kalen Sadler.
Sadler's been kind of quiet tonight. Came in 46 catches, 912 yards, 12 TDs. Got a flag on the field. Let's see what Jeff Murray has to say about the yellow laundry on the field.
Holding, defense, first down.
So a defensive holding call will give the Wolverines a first down, and they will spot this one right at the 32-yard line.
It might have been why the pass was so far out in front of Sadler. When he initially threw it, I thought, well, that looks like it's going to be a good connection, and then he just couldn't get there, but somebody was called for holding, and boy, you heard Coach Montgomery. Penalties certainly something that they want to try to avoid here in this second half.
Coming into tonight, as Sadler, once again, this is the second time we've seen this from Lawton. He picks up a nice chunk of yardage on first down. Coming into tonight, the Bixby Spartans more than double the amount of penalties of the opponent so far. They had 86 for 862 yards in penalties this evening, and they have picked right up where they've left off so far this season. Trying to test down the field again. Once again, it's Hare just out of his reach as he was going up against Justin Williams. And a missed opportunity there as Meservey put it right on the money, and Hare just could not come up with it.
Just did miss connection right there. You can see the very end of that play. Wow, it looked like he had him right where he wanted. Good throw by Maservi, but Hare just not able to hang on.
So they took a shot on 2nd down, brings up 3rd down and 6. Now from the 36-yard line. Serby with 3 receivers to the right. Trying to see if they can get some movement up front from the Spartan defense. Looking to the sidelines, and now they're going to burn a timeout. Coach Randy Breeze wants to talk this one over with 9:10 remaining here in the 3rd. We'll take a timeout as well. Tied up at 14, Jeremy Popland and Steve Marshall. We're in more tonight. It's the 6A-II state championship game, or 6A Division II state championship game between Bixby and Lawton. Back after this on the Cox channel. Welcome back. Tied up at 14, a 3rd down and 6 coming up for Lawton from their own 36-yard line here in the 3rd quarter. Jeremy Popland and Steve Marshall with you. Coach Randy Breeze wanted to take a timeout before this 3rd down play. There seemed to be a bit of confusion. And here they come back to the line of scrimmage. Serby under center. Fakes the play, trying to find Patterson once again on the near sidelines, and that one is overthrown. Serby took a big hit at the end of that play. That was Austin Grotz. Serby's looks like he's hobbled just a little bit. I hope he's okay. Good sportsmanship there from Grotz. And as he lets that one go, yeah, he gets driven to the turf there, and that one's just out of the reach of Patterson, out of bounds. So a stop for the Spartan defense on 4th and 6. Here's Jones with the punt. A lot of air underneath that one, does not get the friendly bounce. Rolls backwards for 2 more yards and comes to a stop, and it is down at the 34-yard line. And the Spartan offense will have an opportunity here with 8:54 remaining in the 3rd quarter. Statistically dominating, Steve Marshall, for the Bixby Spartans so far, but again, the penalties and the turnovers have really been the story.
Yep, and it's been a game of big plays for both teams, and that is even the big play portion of things. But yeah, a couple penalties negated a drive for Bixby, and they'll start this drive off by giving the ball to Roller, and I'm sure we'll see plenty of that here in the 2nd half.
There's Roller, who was banged down on the play by Levi Kane. We've mentioned his name several times so far here this evening. What a tremendous player that he's been. So you have a good shot at Roller. Coach Montgomery had told us earlier in the season, Steve, that they wanted Nick Roller to lose a little bit of weight, so he lost about 10 to 15 pounds coming in on the season, and it's really been beneficial to him. Here's a quick pass to the outside of the tight end. It's Kerr, who continues to keep the legs moving forward. He's past the 1st down marker and will extend the drive here for the Spartans.
Good job, and once again, Griffin delivering the pass right where it needs to be. Receiver is able to make the catch and then move forward, as you said, keeping those legs churning. Look at those numbers, 17 to 21.
172 yards for Tanner Griffin, just a sophomore. Here's Nick Roller. Pushes forward, past the marker, has another 1st down, a gain of 11 on that play, to the 42-yard line. And there's that little step to the inside that you talked about earlier. It takes 3 defenders to bring him down. So from the 42, hard count there from Griffin. Goes back to the line of scrimmage. Now back, 3 receivers to his left. Roller off the left-hand side, makes 1 man miss, then brought down by an ankle tackle at the 45-yard line, or excuse me, 35-yard line.
Let's give credit to some of these other guys on the offensive line as you watch Roller go up there. Jordan Johnston, number 64, Oliver Pate, 66. 67 is Zach Brown, and number 69 is Tyler Womack. Those are the big guys up front. They don't get a lot of attention, but they do the great job opening up those holes initially for Roller.
Here's Griffin. He has Cantrell. That one was behind him. Great hands there from Cantrell. Inside the 20-yard line. They're going to spot it at the 15. And the Spartans continuing to march right down the field.
Good job again. Little play action. Griffin just over the linebacker's hands into Cantrell for a first down.
Quickly back to the line of scrimmage they go. Here's Roller at the 5 and bangs his way into the touchdown. Nick Roller has given the Bixby Spartans another lead here this evening with the 15-yard touchdown run.
Boy, and again, we just mentioned that offensive line, and yeah, sure, he did a lot of that on his own as the contact was made at about the 2-yard line, but really not too much problem getting past the line of scrimmage and into the secondary. And once that happens, boy, he is really tough to bring down and finds his way into the end zone for the touchdown. And for Roller, that's his 32nd touchdown of the year.
Runs right behind 67, Zach Brown, the 5'8", 244 senior. Here's the extra point. It is good. And 21-7 now is our lead as Coach Montgomery comes out to congratulate his team on another great drive.
We'll take a look here, as you said, right behind the big offensive line. Not even touched until he gets about the 8-yard line. Takes a couple of hits there, but, you know, great balance, great vision, besides that great power that we talked about. And he is just an outstanding running back. And in this day and age of the no huddle, Jeremy, you wonder where colleges look at him at the next level as far as, you know, there's not too many people that use that size running back anymore.
There's also a great look at Brandon Dyson to be able to seal his man off from the left tackle position, the 6'2", 231 senior. This team, Steve Marshall, 26 seniors on it for the Bixby Spartans, and 11 of those are starters.
Yeah, the enrollment at Bixby is 1,414 students, as they kind of were up and down before the 6A-I, 6A-II. They would be 6A for a while, back to 5A. Enrollment at Lawton High is 1,733. And so you've got, I think Lawton was probably 17 or 18 in the OSSAA ADM, their average daily membership, their enrollment. So they just missed being in the top 16, while Bixby again hovered around that 28 to 32 area for a number of years.
Here's another kick that will go out of bounds.
Ball goes out of bounds. There is a flag on the play.
So another good opportunity for Lawton, as they will have good starting field position as we take another look here, Steve, of this run from Roller. And there's the seal on the outside from Brandon Dyson to give Roller in. 5 plays, 64 yards and 213. And it's capped off by the 16-yard touchdown run from Roller.
You know, mentioned that their first drive of the second half, they came out, they threw a pass, and then I think ran another pass, and they didn't get Roller involved until it was 3rd and 8, and by then they had to pass, and it was a quick 4 and out for them. So this last drive, they decided, okay, we're going to start it with Roller and end it with Roller, and I think that's a pretty good game plan.
Here's Patterson. Continuing to fight for more yards. Boy, he turned what would have been a 1-yard gain, got about 2 more, and very productive there on first down.
Whereas last year, Lawton High had Michael Warren, who burst onto the scene and rushed for well over 2,000 yards last year. I believe he's a redshirt freshman at Iowa State right now. One that got away, and boy, what a talent he was last year.
2nd down and 6 from the 39-yard line. Go outside, that one skips out of bounds.
They're going to rule that a lateral.
It was a lateral. I mean, it went right down the line of scrimmage. And they're going to spot it as it rolled directly out right down the line of the 35-yard line. So that would have been a live ball if it had not skipped out of bounds. And a 3rd and 6 now for Randy Breeze and his Wolverines. Servey, the senior, from shotgun. 2 receivers to the right, and we have a penalty flag. That'll be movement against Lawton. Remains 3rd down, but now 3rd and 15.
30-yard line of Lawton. Third down, 18.
We have 3 receivers to the right. Patterson in the backfield. Maservi under center. Rolling to his right. Gets hammered as soon as he lets that one go, and it's picked off. It's picked off and returned in for a touchdown. Goes the Bixby Spartans. That's number 39, Adrian Micah. The senior, 5'10", 170-pounder. And that was a gift thrown up from Maservi. And just like that, the Spartans expand their lead with 6:20 to go here in the third.
Great pressure on the quarterback, Maservi, who's hit as he throws. Watching here, coming up and making the play, number 7 for Bixby, that's Casey Saeed. And then the rest, well, that's an easy pick 6 right there.
35-yard touchdown return for the senior, Adrian Micah. We just talked about all the seniors on this team, and there's another one coming up with a gigantic play. The extra point from Ruth is up and good, and a 2-touchdown lead for the Bixby Spartans, Steve Marshall. And now, I know there's 6:20 left, but the Wolverines have to find some offensive rhythm as they did towards the end of the first half.
Well, that's exactly right, because right now I think this is the telling point of the game. Is it going to continue to be Bixby's ball game the rest of the way as they ride Nick Roller and their strong defense, or is this where Lawton gets up off the canvas and decides to make a fight of it? And I think everything is going to be spelled out right here in this upcoming drive for the Wolverines if they're going to get back into this 6A-II title match.
A lot of the talk was around the offense that we would see here this evening. The Spartans defense came into tonight almost identical between both of these teams defensively. The Bixby defense only allowed 20 points per game, and they were extremely good on third down. Teams were only able to convert 23% of the time on third down. Only gave up 152 yards in the passing game at 118. And that's a big play. You see the contact there right into the hands of Adrian Micah. And what a big night for him to give the Spartans a 14-point lead. It's a short kick that is caught immediately. And the Spartans are there with 2 players to bring him down immediately.
Now flags come flying from every different direction. And you'll have to wait and see exactly what that call is going to be, or maybe it's going to be offsetting. But this is where you find out about your character if you're Lawton High.
As the officials will huddle here, we will wait from the official word from Jeff Murray. Let's see the other officials here this evening.
Dead ball. Personal foul, face mask, defense, half the distance, first down.
So a personal foul face mask call against Lawton. And instead of starting from their own 25, they will go half the distance now. And they will place this at the 13-yard line.
13-yard line.
So in a hole here with 6:14 remaining on this possession.
I saw an article written about the Spartans when I was online today, and Coach Montgomery talking about he has everybody healthy for this game tonight. They had nobody that was out, and he gave a lot of credit to the off-season and the in-season conditioning. And we'll see where that goes the rest of the way in this contest as Lawton has the ball.
There's Patterson with a nice run on first down, gains about 9 yards up past the 20 to the 23-yard line. You brought up the conditioning. That was one of the first things that Lauren Montgomery did when he took the job at Bixby, was make sure they hire a full-time strength coach. Like some of the much larger programs on the east side of the state. Patterson stumbled a little bit, was able to regain himself, has the first down, pushes it past the 25-yard line to the 26.
And I brought that point up too on that interception. It looked as though the blitzing linebacker maybe would have been picked up normally by Jalen Barnett, but Barnett, whether he just couldn't get there or because he's playing on both sides of the football tonight, couldn't get there because of conditioning, just was not able to get that block, and in the end it resulted in a interception and a pick-6 touchdown for Bixby.
Here's Patterson, brought down by number 42, Cress Woodward.
Number 42, Cress Woodward. To the 30-yard line. It'll be second down, 6.
And the blitz did come from that edge. Casey Sade. Interesting fact about Casey, his stepdad was actually the defensive coordinator at East Central in 05, and he was always on the sidelines. And in 05, East Central played Bixby in the championship game. There's another shot down the field. This one is underthrown. There were 3 defenders there in the area trying to go deep to Sadler.
A little surprised they're not using the tight end Gooden anymore. We saw him catch a pass early, and I don't think they've targeted him since. And also number 9, Bryce Burt for Lawton has been an integral part of their offense throughout the season, and I don't think he's been targeted one time. So whether it's a fact of Bixby taking those guys out of the equation or Lawton just decided that they're going to try to get the ball to Sadler and Hare, not sure which, but right now it's playing to Bixby's benefit.
Empty backfield. Five receivers for Meservey. From under center, here comes pressure. It's Grotz, and he throws him to the ground.
And he beat Barnett too, Jeremy.
That's the second time this evening that Austin Grotz has put Meservey on his back. Second sack for 91.
Barnett got away with a hold on the play, actually, and Grotz still got around him to make the nice play and the nice tackle.
Grotz last week in the win over Sand Springs, the 41-14 win, he had 3 sacks in that game and a punt block. Here's Jones. Bounces at the 40 and takes a Spartan bounce, and they will spot this one at the 38-yard line. Brand new lineup for Tulsa area customers only. Here's Nick Roller making one man miss, and finally Kane gets him by the ankles. Still stumbles forward for a good gain on first down. From the 42 to the 47, so 5 yards for Nick Roller. We brought up Grotz's performance last week. How about the Spartan defense performance last week over Sand Springs in general, as Griffin finds his man to the outside. It's Cabanis, and he steps out of bounds. So a big pass play to the 31-yard line from Griffin to Cabanis. But the Spartan defense last week, Steve, against Sand Springs in the second half did not pick up a first down until 6 minutes remaining in that game. And you're starting to see that Spartan defense really kind of exert the same type of pressure as last week, and now the offense has a full head of steam as Roller on first down pushing the pile forward.
You know, a lot of times, whether you live and work on the east side or the west side of the state, you don't get to see teams. And by virtue of me coming up and doing that game with you when Bixby played Tulsa, Washington, you know, a lot of went into, well, I'm looking at their schedule. Other than the Jenks game, they maybe hadn't played anybody. But the thing that impressed me the most, again, as we talked about earlier, is the way that they ran to the football and the way that they played their lanes, their assignments, and we've seen that again here tonight.
Personal foul, face mask, defense, half the distance, first down.
And that's just great coaching that Coach Montgomery and his staff have got this team all to believe. And as you mentioned, the fact that they have so many seniors also plays into that, and being part of the program for so long.
Well, and it's his first. When Montgomery took the job, this is kind of his first class really to come all the way through, because the seniors were 8th graders when he took this job at Bixby. And it's been very special to him this season to see the type of success that they've had. As we have a look at the penalties.
You got 3 receivers at the top of the screen with only 2 defenders, and they choose to go the other way as the Roller runs it to the right, as maybe that was more of a decoy than anything else.
Approaching 3 minutes remaining, we'll have a look at this play once. And Roller That was a good ankle tackle there from Lawton. Roller might have scored once again. Just keep feeding him the ball. That should be good for another first down. It'll be 1st and goal for the Spartans.
I think that's what they're doing there too, is they're putting those trips to the top of your screen all the way to the far left just to draw another defender out of the box area. See if they don't go with that same type formation again, or maybe now they've got it deep enough inside the 4-yard line. That's what it looks like now. They're just going to go double tight end.
Yeah, Coach Montgomery was concerned because Lawton on film tried to load up the box against everyone and make you throw against him, and that's just an easy touchdown run from Nick Roller that extends the lead once again. Put 6 more points on the board for the Spartans, and they have seized control of this championship game.
14-14 at halftime, and right now an extra point away from being a 3-touchdown lead as Bixby has come out of the halftime locker room, and they have roared out to a big 3-touchdown lead behind the legs of Nick Roller. And a pretty good defense.
Here's Taylor Ruth, another senior, 5'11", 165. Extra point is up and good, and with 2:49 remaining, Bixby now leads 35-14 over Lawton. And the momentum has absolutely shifted, Steve Marshall, to the Bixby sidelines, and Lawton now questioning. As you can see the huddle there, there's Coach Breeze. And the time is now. They've got to make something happen to try to get back in this one.
Yeah, there's no question. If we talked about it before as kind of a test of your character, if you're going to get up off your back, off the canvas, and continue to fight and draw closer in this game, if it was important before, it's urgent right now. And I think that's a term in sports that is really not used enough, is urgency, because right now there is urgency on this Lawton High squad as they got to get something going offensively.
That was a 58-yard drive from the Spartans, as we'll see the replay, and this is the Nick Roller show.
And we mentioned he carried 16 consecutive times in their victory over Sand Springs as they decided just to see if the Sandites could stop him, and they could not. And even though he doesn't have gaudy numbers yet tonight, I'm sure he's well over 100 yards by now, but he is somebody that you can game plan for him, but until you actually get into the game, you don't know really what you're up against.
There's Ruth with the kickoff trying to pin them against the sidelines right at the numbers, and it's a good job there from Jones, as Chris Jones made several people miss, and he returned that one up past the 40-yard line. And Lawton will come back on offense to steal a line from former University of Tulsa head football coach Keith Burns. Nick Roller is a bowling ball of butcher knives.
That is a perfect description. He's one of those guys too, Jeremy, that he's always leaning forward, whether you stop him for a 1-yard gain and you hit him behind the line of scrimmage, he's always going to come out with positive yards.
Here's the Wolverines, and as they will take a shot, and there's some miscommunication on that play, as Justin Williams was there for the Spartans on defense.
Got a flag back at the line of scrimmage. See what that is about.
Looks like one of the receivers might have decided to cut the route off. This is going to be holding against Lawton. There you see the numbers from the survey. 5 for 13 for 105 yards. And then, of course, the carries with the sack yardage, -17. He came into tonight completing 66% of his passes, 23 touchdowns and 5 interceptions. It's been a rough night for the senior.
Lawton High has been held to less than 30 points only once all year, and that was a battle with Midwest City for the district championship. Lawton winning that game 24-22, so that's the only time they've been held under 30, and right now they're still trying to get over 15.
There's Patterson off the right-hand side, off of 1st and 20. Only picks up a couple.
Moves the ball out to the 26-yard line.
Out to the
28 on the stop for Bixby.
27-yard line.
Second down, 21.
Second down and 21 now. Two receivers up top. They'll go the slant. That one is thrown behind Hare, and he could not come up with it. And a 3rd and 21 coming up for Lawton.
Yeah, just behind the intended receiver. Trying to get it to Hare. And again, still puzzled by them not trying to get Good more involved in the game. He had a couple of big catches in that second half in last week's, or 2 weeks ago, win over Tulsa, Washington.
We'll go 3 receivers to the left. Patterson was in the backfield. He's to the right now. They'll go over the middle of the field. That one was there, and it hit Sadler in the hands, and he just couldn't come up with it. It would have been one heck of a grab, but he had an opportunity on it and just couldn't come up with it.
Take a look once again. Meserve dropping, has time, delivers the football. Looks like it was right there, maybe a little bit low, but that's a catch that Sadler has to come up with. And as you read body language right now out on that football field, Bixby has the 3-touchdown lead, and they also have plenty of momentum.
Cantrell is way back at his own 25-yard line. Chris Jones, boy, did a great job even being able to even bring that snap in. Takes a little bit of the Bixby roll back on the Lawton side of the field, and that's where it is down at the 49-yard line. But still one great play from Chris Jones to give himself an opportunity to punt the ball away.
Well, right now, if you're a Bixby fan, hopefully you're watching. If you didn't make the trip here on the Cox channel, the Cox High School Hub, coxhshub.com, right now you're thinking all we need to do is control the football, keep handing it off to Roller, and not turn the ball over. And then they can bring that gold ball, the first one in their football history, back up the turnpike. And
they've got the perfect man to be able to grind this one out the rest of the way. Here's Roller. Off the read on the inside. And he gave it to Roller. Picks up a chunk, close to 5 yards on first down. 26 carries for 151 yards for Nick Roller here this evening. And on second down, good job there defensively. And a short gain. Ball is spotted on the 39-yard line. 3rd down and 4 as we approach 1 minute remaining here in the 3rd. Here's Griffin. He has 2 receivers to each side. Roller in the backfield and a penalty.
Flag on the play.
See what the call is here. Looks like it may be against Lawton. And they're going to wave this one off. So we'll see if we have an explanation here from Jeff Murray, and I don't think we're going to get one as to why the flag was thrown in the first place. But it will remain 3rd and 4 from the 39-yard line. Here's Griffin. Overthrown, intended for Kate Cabanis near the 25-yard line. And that's a stop for the Lawton defense.
4th down for the ball, still in the 39-yard line.
I think Lawton coaches telling their kids right now, don't jump off sides, and if they did, that would give them almost enough for a first down, but certainly would warrant Bixby trying to go for it.
Chris Jones standing at his own 10-yard line. Here's another high snap from Griffin. He just got that one off in the nick of time. It's a nice roll. Back 4 or 5 more yards onto the end of this one, and at the 11-yard line. And that is where the Wolverines will march back out on offense. Steve, we've talked a lot about Jalen Barnett and the tremendous season that he's had. How about all of those guys up front for Lawton? Dakota Dukes from the center position. Devin Gates, the right guard. Steve Humans. the big left guard, and Edward Nunez, number 55 at the left tackle spot. They have had a tremendous season. Rolling to his right, has his man, it is caught. And that's the first time that we've called Tristan Gooden's name since, I believe, the first quarter. And he is down after the play.
Gooden gets the first down reception. I don't know if he fell on the ball or looks like he's grasping at his left shoulder. You talked about that offensive line as he's obviously down. Hunter Maservi, the sophomore brother of Jack Maservi, the quarterback, was lost on the very first snap of the season. I believe it was a broken ankle or a broken foot, and obviously has not returned. So that's an unfortunate injury that would have probably even further bolstered what is already an outstanding offensive line, as Gooden is able to get up, maybe got a little stinger on that left shoulder, and hopefully we'll see him back in the lineup.
Yeah, it's good to see that he is up and okay. This is an offense that averaged over 45 points per game on the entire season. As you see the numbers from Gooden, 2 catches for 25 yards. Some of the fans from Bixby, is the entire visiting side here of the Moore School Stadium is full with people that have made the trip from the east side of the state to cheer on their Spartans. Here's a 1st and 10. Pass thrown to the outside. It is caught, wrestled out of bounds. That's Patterson.
On the reception.
You mentioned the crowd, and talking with Coach Mike Whaley from the OSSAA at halftime. Of course, he coached at Westmore for a good number of years, and I was fortunate enough to call a good number of those Moore Wars. And there's that parking lot off to the southwest out here that is full, and this place on some nights would get as many as 20,000 for that football game in that Moore War. And good to see a big crowd like this here again this evening.
There's Patterson that's thrown to the ground from J.J. Cantrell, and that will end the third quarter. As you can see, the 4 fingers up in the air for the Bixby Spartans as they have dominated the third quarter and lead 35-14 here in Moore on the high school football Cox Channel Game of the Week. Start of the fourth quarter here in Moore. Bixby on their way to their first ever state championship game unless Lawton can make a comeback. Bixby lead 35-14 as we start the fourth. It's a 3rd down and 6 from their own 30-yard line for the Wolverines. Servey was under center. It's to back out. Barks orders to the wide receivers. Tells Bryce Britt. Back under center he goes. Back to pass, 3-step drop. Now he's got to move out of the pocket, does so. Steps up, fires over the middle. That one's almost intercepted, and then off of the deflection, almost into the hands of Britt.
Well, again, good pressure by the Bixby Spartans as they flushed Maservi out of the pocket and had a hard time finding a receiver. As you said, underthrew Burt just a little bit. Defender got a hand on it. Could have been intercepted, and then it almost turned into a tipped reception.
That was Zach Reynolds that got his hand on it to knock it away. And more importantly, another missed opportunity for Lawton as they will kick this one away. Cantrell back at the 25-yard line. Jones puts the left-footed boot. This time he gets a nice roll, and Cantrell will back away from that one. And it will roll to a stop inside the 20-yard line down to the 19.
51-yard punt for Jones. And right now, Bixby, if they can, even if they don't score, if they can just get 2 first downs in this drive and chew off another 4 or 5 minutes on the clock. I've worked a couple games with Coach Whaley as a color analyst before, and he always talks about how many more times when you get to the fourth quarter, how many more times will you get the football? And right now you think that Lawton will only get it 3 more times, and if Bixby can put any points on the board here on this drive, it would seemingly wrap this thing up if it's not already there.
There's a good stop from Levi Kane on roller. Hits Roller low. A gain of 1 on the play. So precious are those possessions now for Lawton.
There's so many football programs, you know, Roller coming up. If he hadn't had those older brothers, you would have thought, well, he's built like a lineman. Let's make him a guard. But he's turned out to be a pretty good tailback.
Whoever made the decision made the right move. How about that grab there from Cabanis? That's twice now he's had to go up in the air. Sure-handed catch from Cade Cabanis. And a first down for the Spartans up to the 36-yard line.
Just can't say enough about Griffin and the job that he's done tonight. I know earlier he was 17-21, and now check his numbers.
Two receivers to each side for Griffin. And no surprise, I go with Roller. 7 more yards as Roller pushes through.
Just a good, clean second half here for Bixby. 19-25 is Griffin now. 2 interceptions. One was tipped, of course, and then the one was in the corner of the end zone. So he's been very strong in this contest here this evening, and now just 10 minutes away from getting the school's first ever gold ball in football.
Coach Montgomery has said several times through this season that Tanner Griffin does not play like a sophomore, and I would agree with him 100%. From the 2 times that we've seen him this season, he's calm, cool, and collected every step of the way. No matter if it's a mistake, he always forgets about it, seems to bounce right back, and really handles this offense extremely well. You mentioned it, Steve, several times, the number of receivers that they have. Doesn't hurt now to have Nick Roller as your safety valve there in the backfield to take a lot of pressure off of you as a sophomore. But man, Tanner Griffin has got 2 more years coming up, and I'm excited to see the opportunity and the growth still to come. Here's Roller as he breaks free, still on his feet at the 40. And brought down close to the 35-yard line. So from the 46 down to the 36-yard line of Lawton. How about this run?
You talk about guys that run behind their pads, and upon the point of impact, when he sees that the hit is coming, he lowers those shoulder pads, and you know there's nothing to tackle in between the shoulder pads and the knees. You got to get them low, otherwise you're going to end up going for a ride that you probably didn't want to go on. And he's getting up close to 200 yards on the night here this evening.
Vision is extremely important for Roller as well. Little jump step there, back to the outside, still fighting forward, has another first down, this time inside the 25-yard line, down to the 24.
13 yards on that particular carry, takes him up to 191 yards on the night.
Roller had 145 last week and 4 touchdowns on 36 carries. And he has surpassed that here this evening. And if there's one young man that deserves a couple of days rest before he moves into a different sport, it's Nick Roller. The season that he's had. Outside of J.J. Cantrell. Trying to work off of a blocker. Bounces to the outside, then wrestled out of bounds. Cantrell, another senior, has had a big year as well. Had 4 touchdowns on the season, over a 21-yard average per reception. As the Spartans now are content to try to run as much clock as they can, just kind of grind this one out. Bounces off one missed tackle, and then finally wrapped up. There were 3 defenders that were there for Lawton. That's Matt Leon, number 21.
Of course, Roller is a senior. Kyle Ryan is a senior. So is Mulkey. Cantrell is a senior. Kate Cavendish will be coming back as part of the skill players that will be back for Bixby next year, along with the quarterback Griffin. And then it looks like most of the offensive linemen, except for Oliver Pate, he's a junior. The rest are all seniors. You talked about this being a very senior-laden ball club.
Yeah, 26 in total, and 11 of those starters. Team that average over 7 yards per play on the season. Roller tackled on the play by Admiral Majors. 3rd down and 8 as we approach 7:15 left.
Well, this is exactly the drive that Bixby wanted too.
Slow and methodical.
And time-consuming.
2 receivers to each side. Griffin will now look back to the sidelines. Checks with the lineman. Has a snap out of the gun. In the pocket. That one's going to be called incomplete. Chris Jones had an opportunity for it there. It was intended for Zach Stevens on the play. 6'3", 185-pound senior. And 4th and 8 from the 11.
And we talked about when the formation of 6A-II was announced, we knew that both these teams would more than likely be Final Four, if not final game candidates. I remember seeing Bixby at the Mustang team camp back in May, being very impressed, obviously, with Roller, and especially so with the quarterback Griffin. So, you know, while he's a sophomore, and you don't expect sophomores to lead a team to a state championship from the quarterback position, you could see even back in early May that he was a very poised quarterback at the sophomore at the quarterback position.
Well, they missed an opportunity to put 3 more points on the board as that kick sails right. And with 6:50 remaining, Bixby still in control, 35-14 here on the Cox channel. It's the 6A Division II championship game. We'll be back after this message. .648 remaining in this contest here at Moore. Lawton needs something to happen right now. 35-14, they trail in the fight for a gold ball. And here's their opportunity. They're going to go deep on the first play. And that one's knocked away at the very end. Boy, did Cantrell get a hand in on that one towards the very end? We'll have to see on the replay. It looks like that he might have, but they tried to take a shot right out of the timeout. Step for step. Yeah, he kind of reached back, and he may not have gotten a piece of it, but definitely caused the receiver to misjudge that one. Tremendous defensive play there from the Spartans. Here's Meservey. Well, out of the backfield, it's Patterson. He's bounced out of bounds. Still short of the first down. Great camera work here. You can see the eyes of Meservey, who finds Patterson. Blake Cooper knocks Patterson out of bounds. It's 3rd and 3. Precious opportunity slipping away. Here's Patterson. He's got some room right up the middle, past the 50. Knocks down one defender, still on his feet. Breaks another tackle and finally brought down at the 30-yard line.
That's some great 1-2 right there by Darrell Patterson. Big hole up the middle, probably the biggest hole they've been able to create all night long, and then the rest is Patterson on his own.
Watch that, wow.
Spins out, Cantrell can't hang on to him, and finally brought down, but a big gain in the play all the way down to the Bixby 30-yard line.
Hello, Justin Williams with the shoulder that Patterson used on him. 6:21, Lawton trying to fight for their lives. Pass is complete. It's Patterson once again. To the 22-yard line.
Patterson just trying to give the Lawton fans, faithful, just any kind of hope whatsoever. Doing everything he can. One big gain and then a 7-yard pickup there as we go under 6 minutes to play.
See if Lawton picks up the tempo here. 3 receivers to the right. Rolling to his right, has his man, it's caught. Slips through one tackle, then finished off by Adrian Micah is number 8, Daryl Shaw, the 166-pound junior.
Stop the clock, move the chains. Meservey rolling, finding Shaw. Shaw, just a junior, gets the first down for the Wolverines.
Back to the line of scrimmage, Meservey looking to his right the entire way, goes over the middle. That one's knocked away, intended for number 3, Sadler. And a good defensive play there from the Spartans.
Blake Cooper, number 6. You'll see right there, Cooper maybe got a hand right in there at the very end. Perfect timing. Sadler not able to bring it in.
One receiver up top, 3 to the right. They'll bring Patterson in motion behind the formation. And they'll go immediately out to him, and that one slips through his hands. They were trying to create Patterson just to get him into some space. There really wasn't that much room there, even if he would have caught that one. Maybe better off to save themselves some time with the incomplete pass. A 3rd and 10 now coming up. Got one tight end to the right. Patterson in the backfield, 3 receivers to the left. They go and they find the tight end. It's caught near the 5-yard line and out of bounds. That's good.
Gooden went down earlier with an injury, able to fight his way back, fought his way off the line of scrimmage. Bixby really tried to not let him get out into the open. Gooden fought through it, got open and got the first down.
Here's Patterson trying the left-hand side. Not much there at all. And of course, when Austin Grotz is lined up on that side, it's going to be tough sledding against 91.
Second and goal and 5.
Rolling is Meservey, going to the end zone. That one's out of the reach of Sadler.
Number 3, Caleb Sadler, incomplete.
Clock stops at 4:46. 3rd and 5 now from the 5-yard line.
That'll be 3rd and goal from the 5.
So on the 3rd and goal, Patterson in motion. They'll swing it to him. Caught at the 9-yard line. Gets close to the goal line. Still waiting on a signal. And they're going to spot him just shy. And I don't know if you can get much closer to the goal line than what Patterson is, Steve Marshall. But it will be 4th and goal, and they're quickly going to line up. And Meservey's into the end zone for a touchdown. Still waiting on the official signal, and there it is. So they lined up quickly. And Meservey pushes that one through. And Lawton with their first points of the second half comes at 4:19 remaining in this game.
It almost seems like one of those prevent defense type touchdowns. Bixby with a 3-touchdown lead with about 6 minutes left to go. Lawton moves it down. Took them probably about 2 minutes on that drive. The clock now shows 4:20 left to play, but now Lawton, again, if they can get an onside kick recovered, they're just 2 scores away from tying this ball game up and getting back into the contest. And you prevent any type of turnover, you've got an opportunity.
Here's the extra point. It is good. So the lead has been trimmed now to 14. 35-21. What is remaining in the final 4 minutes and 19 seconds? History in the making, the first ever championship in 6A Division II. Bixby with a 14-point lead, 35-21. Back after this on the Cox channel. Four minutes and 19 seconds remaining in the 6A Division II state championship game. Bixby with a 14-point lead over Lawton. And it looks like that Lawton may be setting up for an onside kick. They get their first points of the second half. as Bixby has dominated. We were tied up at 14 at half. Congratulations to the Wagner Bulldogs, who just won the 4A state championship, a 45-21 win over Oologah. And in Class 3A this evening, an upset. Cushing knocks off Kingfisher, so Cushing heads to the 3A championship game. And in 6A-I, Jinx and Union are tied at 14.
Well, whoever has the ball last in that one is usually the team that wins, and it looks like it's going to hold true again this year.
Absolutely, and they will attempt the onside, and that one is right into the arms of Blake Cooper, who falls down at the 45-yard line. And the Spartans were not surprised by that one.
No, and kicker needed to either get the top of the ball to cause the crazy bounces or really send a line drive right at one of the up men, and didn't really get either. And so now it looks like it's going to be Nick Roller, and probably a little bit more Nick Roller. .420 away from the first ever gold ball for the Bixby Spartans. Here's Roller, bounces out to the outside. If he can get to the outside edge, just knocked down. I'm not too sure he didn't do that on purpose, Jeremy, because it looked like he almost took a safety slide in there to stay inbounds and to keep the clock rolling.
Could not tell if the defender got an arm there on the legs or not. You might be right, Steve. Keep that clock running. That's a heads-up play there from Nick Roller.
Strong, tough.
Look at those numbers.
And smart on top of it.
Wow, 209. 2 touchdowns here this evening. And they're going to continue to feed the big man. Push was forward to the 39-yard line.
Nick Roller, number 33, the ball carrier. Off the top of number 33, the last name.
Just had a question on what would be the rushing record for a championship game. Not exactly sure. But Roller has put on one heck of a show here this evening.
Well, I'll tell you this much, it's the all-time record in 6A-II.
You're exactly right. So it is a record here this evening.
In some of those smaller schools, you've got guys rush for over 400 yards in a state championship contest. I remember a Derek Skinner, it seemed like was a young man's name, Crooked Oak years ago.
Coach Montgomery stalking the sidelines. I'm sure this has to be an anxious moment for him as well. All the hard work that he has put into this program is just a few moments away from paying off. It's a 3rd and 7. He's going to be stopped short of the first down, and Lawton will burn their second timeout of this half. So they will have 1 timeout remaining with 2:27. Roller heads over to the sidelines. Looks like he's going to get some more tape there on his elbow. And if there's a young man that has earned that tonight, it is Nick Roller. There's Randy Breeze, who I know has to be disappointed with Lawton coming in here this evening. Tied up at 14 at halftime. Disappointing second half for Lawton, but a tremendous season for them to get to this point. And there's the championship trophy and the runners-up trophy that will be awarded here on the field after this one is completed. Roller is up to 219 yards on 38 carries. And it looked like that Lauren Montgomery was trying to signal for a timeout briefly. as Griffin is under center, and he gives to Roller. Bangs it through, picks up the first down. And as you can see, a lot of players upset. It's been a hard-fought season for them. And we wonder now if we'll see a curtain call for some of these seniors. As many as they have, though, they may not have enough to go back in to fill in the starting lineups. 26 seniors. I kid, there's only 11 of those that are starters, and we might have an opportunity to see more of the seniors come out onto the field here for Bixby. Here's Roller behind Grady Hannafin on that play. And a timeout, Lawton. Roller to the 25-yard line. So that is the final timeout that has been burned by Lawton.
All at the 25-yard line, and timeout Lawton.
And from the 25-yard line, trying to imagine what that must be like there for Coach Montgomery. You know you've got 1:55 left and still got some work to put in. You can't allow yourself to start celebrating just quite yet. Got to be able to control yourself and control your team, but we are just a few moments away from that sideline exploding. And that's going to be a fun trip back to Tulsa, to the south side of Tulsa for the Bixby Spartans. As you can see, a lot of students there that have shown up here this evening. The entire sidelines is full. The entire stands on the visitor side is full, Steve Marshall. This is quite not only an impressive performance from Bixby tonight, but impressive showing from the fans as well.
Oh yeah, great turnout from both these schools, and you can see off to my left behind me a little bit what Lauren Montgomery and his Bixby Spartans are hoping to hoist here in just about another minute 55 left of game time. I can see Bixby coaches, they've left the press box and they are headed down and ready to begin a celebration for the Bixby Spartans if they can just hold on to the football.
2nd down and 6 from the 25-yard line. Here's Griffin. He will turn and give to who else? Nick Roller off the left-hand side. Tackle there by number 21, Matt Leon. He is a senior. And 3rd down and 3. And Steve Marshall, I know this has got to be tough for Randy Breeze and the Lawton Wolverines, who have had a tremendous season, and they're going to come up short here in the championship game.
Well, and you know, they knew all season long, and they talked about it when they had spring football, that, you know, with this new 6A-II, I mean, they were always competitive when there was just one 6A, and they knew when there was a 6A-II developed that they were going to be a team to be reckoned with down the stretch, and they certainly were. Another great season for the Lawton High Wolverines, and I think when you talk about large schools and winning percentages, I think you've got Lawton right there in the top 5.
Well, and there was a lot of controversy about this second division in 6A, and after year 1, I have to applaud the OSSAA for giving the opportunity, as Lauren Montgomery just received the Gatorade bath, the opportunity to give to more kids an opportunity to play in a championship game setting like this. As we can see the replay, is Lauren almost got away from it there for a brief moment, but he got most of it on the side of the head. Victory formation. Tanner Griffin is going to take a knee. And you can hear the fans on the Bixby side starting to celebrate. Lauren Montgomery wiping off the face with that towel. And it is going to be an extremely happy bus ride back to Tulsa for the Spartans. They got to take one more knee, Steve Marshall, and they will cap off an incredible season with their sophomore quarterback, Tanner Griffin. He takes a knee, and that's going to do it. Let the celebration begin. Some backflips on the field. Here comes the entire team. Congratulations to the Bixby Spartans. History in the making. The first ever Division II Class 6A champions. And that gold ball's going to the east side of the state, and they will have to make a place in the trophy case in Bixby. And we'll go down on the field here in a few moments with Steve Marshall, and we'll hear from the head coach, Lawton Montgomery. The Bixby Spartans have capped off an incredible season. They will finish at 12-1 on the season. Their only loss is in week number 1 to the Jinx Trojans. And it was a rough night. I read several quotes from Coach Montgomery how that was a rough night. They bounced back after that and went perfect the rest of the way through and finish off an incredible season in the playoffs, beating Stillwater, beating Sand Springs, and knocking off Lawton here this evening, 35-21. And the first ever state championship.
You made a great point a little bit earlier, too, about the inaugural season for 6A-II and how it invigorated so many other towns throughout the state of Oklahoma. Not just these two teams that were able to play in a state championship game that they maybe otherwise would not have played in, but also communities like Stillwater and Choctaw and some of the other schools that, at least coming into the season, they knew that they had the possibility of getting to the semifinals and maybe even the championship final games. And I think, you heard a lot of both sides talking about how some of the larger schools, they lost some of the games that normally would have been automatic victories for them against some of the schools in the 6A-II division. But again, to see these fans from both sides, Lawton and Bixby, show up the way that they did here tonight, stick around throughout the entire contest, and enjoy what is state championship football, it's all a positive right here.
Well, you're exactly right, and it's provided more opportunities for young men to be able to be in this moment, and not just to have a team like Bixby win the championship, but Lawton to be able to make this run, because we do not know if either one of these teams would have had an opportunity if things would have remained the same in Class 6A. So they've provided more access, and I will never complain about having more access to see teams have an opportunity to come and live out their dreams. And there are 26 seniors there on the Bixby side of things, as the entire team has made its way over to the student section. They're singing the alma mater in celebration there. You can see the players like Blake Cooper celebrating up on the edge of the stadium with the students, all the helmets in the air. And what a tremendous season from the Bixby Spartans behind Nick Roller, who had Steve Marshall, as you mentioned, a record in the Division II game here in Class 6A, but what a season from Nick Roller in general.
Well, and I guess all the records that were set here tonight, whether you passed for 60 yards or 200 and whatever yards that Tanner Griffin ended up with, of course, are now state records as far as 6A-II is concerned. And, hats off, too, to the Lawton High Wolverines, as obviously they're upset, very disappointed. They saw their magical season come to an end. And hats off to head coach Randy Breeze and his staff for the great job that they did. And, of course, the Lawton community. And, Lawton can take solace in one fact, that they can come back out and try to cheer on the Lawton MacArthur Highlanders tomorrow as they take on Skiatook for the 5A state championship, and that'll be a game that'll be played tomorrow over in Yukon. But just a great game here tonight, and again, we're still going to try to get with head coach Lawton Montgomery and Nick Roller and talk to them about what it means to get this first ever state championship for Bixby football, and just a great performance. And I especially want to ask them what adjustments they made at halftime and what they told their kids at halftime as they got the victory here tonight. And we're getting Coach Montgomery to come over here right now. And Lauren, congratulations, great win here tonight.
Hey, proud of the boys. I tell you what, they played a great second half. Proud of the guys all along. They've done a good job of getting better each week, believing and fighting. It's just a good group of boys.
14-14 at halftime. Seemed like a pretty even ball game. What adjustments did you make? What did you tell your team at halftime?
Well, I tell you what, eliminate the silly penalties, and we still made one or two in the second half, but keep doing what we're doing, and Nick Roller's usually amazing in the second half.
When you found out there was going to be a 6A-II, that had to bring a lot of excitement to the Bixby community, knowing that the type of team that you had coming back and what the possibilities were.
Yeah, we knew we were going to have a pretty good football team, and so, of course, we were excited about it, and it's kind of cool to win that first inaugural one.
Well, congratulations again on the victory. I know you want to celebrate with the kids, the fans, the community. Congratulations once again.
Thanks a lot. Appreciate you guys.
All right.
Thank you.
It's head coach Lawton Montgomery as his team goes on to victory here tonight. Final score 35-21 in the first ever 6A-II state championship.
Thank you very much, Steve Marshall down on the sidelines and head coach Lawton Montgomery. Let's look at our player of the game, and really no surprise here. We'll go with the junior, number 33, Nick Roller, what a tremendous season that he had. Look at some of these highlights that we'll see as they set up the screen pass. And the final numbers for Roller tonight. He finishes with 235 yards on the ground, 4 touchdowns. There was a big run there. Tackler with 157 tackles. Here's Roller, makes one man miss, bounces off of
Very rarely was dropped down for
back to the line of scrimmage. They go. Here's Roller at the 5. And
another big run into the end zone for a touchdown from Nick Roller.
Final stats on the night: 276 yards rushing, 155 through the air, 22 first downs for the Spartans. Those 2 turnovers, 7 penalties for 65 yards. Final stats for the Wolverines: 155 through the air, 114 on the ground, 13 first downs. They had those 3 costly turnovers and 6 penalties for 60 yards. And thank you very much to Oklahoma Farm Bureau Insurance for a look at our final stats. We'll take a timeout here, come back, and wrap this one up. Congratulations to the Bixby Spartans, as they are your first ever champions in Class 6A Division II with a win tonight, 35-21 over Lawton. Back after this on the Cox Channel.